Hello, and welcome to the Dahlia World Garden's presentation of Seattle Dawn, Book 8, Apocalyptical Ascension. I am our storyteller, Tim Dahlia. Thank you for joining us. If you are returning to the show, welcome back. If you are joining us for the first time, thank you for checking us out. What you are about to watch is an actual play of Mage the Ascension, a tabletop role-playing game of horror and hope set in the world of darkness. It follows the lives of mortal mages living in and around Seattle on their quests for enlightenment. Let us meet the three mages venturing onto the streets of Seattle this session. First up, let us introduce Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Lucia. She is a mage who is very connected with the celestial angels and hearing the voices of angels.
Yes. And following that up, we'll introduce Cindy.
Hi, I'm Cindy. I play Inea Blackwell, who is a Kha'vadi techno shaman, who finds spirits in everything, including all of her journalism tech. She is currently on a hill overlooking Seattle.
And we'll get into that when we get into that.
Yeah, with a whole bunch of homeless folks.
Oh, exactly. And coming up following everything is Seán.
Hi, I'm Seán. I am playing Rhenard, and this will be one of my first times apprising this role, so I'm still kind of feeling it out, but yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is a game that draws inspiration from the darker, more sinister aspects of our lives and mythologies. Our story may contain some mature themes, including, but not limited to, body horror, graphic violence, blood, death, mental illness, power imbalances, sexual themes, and social injustice. Hopefully not all at once, but please watch at your discretion and remember to take a break if needed. We do use a system of lines and veils to ensure player safety, and I will respect them throughout the story. There will be dark moments, but the light of the awakened can bring hope in the gravest of circumstances. So, like the video, subscribe to the channel as we tell a mage story. Alright guys, it has been several months since the deadly Winterfest massacre and the Hillman Home Church raid, marking the end to a string of brutal violence against Seattle's growing homeless population. Near the end of March, above the city skyline, strange wavering green lights have emerged. The sleeper news media reports scientists are investigating, but suggest there is nothing to fear, and likely a phenomenon similar to the Aurora Borealis effect. But the coming of the lights has unsettled many. Theories range from the mundane to the outrageous to outright terrifying. Some have taken to the streets to preach of the coming apocalypse. Others have taken the opportunity to affirm life and throw wild celebrations under the emerald illumination. Meanwhile, despite the unusual light show, city life has remained surprisingly unfazed. People are still punching the clock, watching their favorite shows, ordering takeout, and living their American dream. Those who can afford it, of course, because on the streets, the daily struggle for food and shelter plays out as it always has, the wavering lights only casting a green hue and deepening the alleyway shadows. Today started as any other April day in Seattle, rainy. The normal, grayish sky diffused the lights for a time, But eventually, the gray rain clouds parted, and the dancing strings of light swayed before the clear sky as the sun set to the west. A mix of all the colors surrounded the city, and in those few moments, every witness knew what it was like to have the heart of a poet. And then, in a flash, the serenity of peace was broken. Chunks of rock fell from the sky as the earth rumbled. Buildings swayed and alarms sang a new tune of panic. To the horror of those in Seattle, the depths are drained to the west, and a swell of sea rises, eclipsing the sun with a wall of water. The worst is yet to come. And this is where we find Inea and the bridge trolls. This is the current view of the city. It's pretty. Some people have actually just come to enjoy it. But today is different. Today, the world may end. Working with the homeless population, this is one of Inea's expert activities. She will assist anyone she can here at Tent Row. But currently, as the sky flashed and the view of the ocean draining westward, what is Inea up to?
Well, as I recall, we had basically just, the water started and we were already moving because of tsunami warnings. So
Yes.
we started getting everybody in the camp that we were at moving along the escape routes to high ground.
Yes. Go ahead and it's not really it's more of a science check, but yeah, I'll have you roll intelligence plus science. You're not the most scientifically minded person in the group, but
Not so much. Science, there it is. Difficulty?
let's say 7.
I have 1 success.
Okay. Yeah, 2 successes.
Oh, there is a 10 there.
Yeah, we run some specialized rules here. We're gonna reward people for rolling 10s. I'm just a fan of that. Okay, yes, Cindy. With that 2 successes, you recall that a few years ago they did a survey and kind of a study of how long people have if there is a tsunami, particularly if the Cascade fault started crashing. You estimate from right about now that there's probably about 3 minutes before splashdown.
So how far were we from the actual waterfront when we started?
That is a good question. I'm going to open up my map. Just got to see.
Because that could buy us a little bit of time. A little bit.
You are south of Lake Union, closer to I-5, but on the west side of it. So, not as close as like Pike Place or Construct Gray or any of those other areas.
Yeah, we weren't right on the water.
Right, but you're a little higher up along the freeway.
Yeah,
Where many of the where Kent Row likes to sit.
Right. We're just moving everybody as fast as we can. I realize that there's some of us that cannot move as fast as others. So, that I am imagining that's slightly higher ground as well, just by virtue of being inland.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Seattle's kind of built on a large slope.
Mm-hmm. My concern is making sure that people like Brain, who is in a chair, have help, and trying to keep stragglers as best I can up with the group.
Yeah. Go ahead and let's see, for the general cacophony of everything going on and the chaos. How are you trying to herd the cats that are in this area?
Well, I'm assuming that the bridge trolls are helping me because that was kind of the idea.
Yeah, they will offer assistance. That will be part of it.
So most of it is just yelling to make sure that everybody keeps moving and follows the signs.
Are you trying to do this through intimidation or leadership, or what's the method that you're trying to get people to listen?
Wow. It's probably going to have to be leadership to start with, but she'll totally go for intimidation if necessary, or even physical shoving if necessary.
Okay. Let us go with... let's go with manipulation and intimidation. DP mod of 3, 1 for each of the bridge trolls.
Manipulation, and you said intimidation?
Yes. And difficulty... This is a hard group, so let's say difficulty is 7. Con can add a little bit of extra intimidation, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, you said DP mod of 3.
Yes.
And difficulty of 7.
Yes. Okay.
I have, looks like just 3
successes. That's a solid amount of success. It's not, like, overwhelming, but it gets the job done. Between you, Cinder, Con, and Sabra, you're able to raise your voice and lead by example and push people that need to be pushed out of their tents, pull them out, whatever, and get them going in the right direction, which is this moving eastward. So now that you've gotten them moving, what would you like to do now? Now everybody's kind of following directives. Some have been a bit grumpy about it, but looking over their shoulder and seeing what's coming and hearing the noise. Many of them have been intimidated by the surroundings as well.
The sirens are definitely a huge stressor.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
No worries.
I am, I'm keeping an eye out behind me to make sure nobody falls behind. I'm also keeping an eye out to our surroundings to make sure that, if we happen to pass somebody who doesn't seem to know what the hell to do, that wasn't part of our group to begin with, make sure to get them moving in the same direction. The idea is, at this point, just the people that I'm with to make sure that they get the hell out as best they can. because this is not going to be good.
No. The ground is still sporadically shaking. It doesn't seem to be completely over. The sound of the wind being forced through the urban skyscrapers whistles as the swell reaches its apex. The coastline water pulls even further out, welcoming the coming deluge. It's coming. The sirens continue to yell. Khan is pulling everybody out. Come on, guys, get up! Come on, you got to move over this way. We got to make sure that we're all ready. There's a world of hurt coming our way. Sabra keeps up with the dogs and actually whispers to some of them, and they keep. It's interesting to see that the dogs also are hurting people. And Cinder holds on to the back of Khan's belt. Her eyes kind of glazed as she's looking through something else, not her own eyes.
Where is Brain? I need to know where Brain is.
One of you is pushing him in his chair. It could be any. It could be you. It could be any of the other three.
I was just trying to decide who that would have to be.
I would let that be yours.
I'm thinking I'm probably the one with Brain. I'm pushing Brain along.
Okay. Yeah. He lets you push. No complaint. No, argument there. He doesn't want to get caught in an earthquake either. That being said, give me a dexterity and athletics check, as there is some ground shaking. There's some debris coming from different buildings in the area. You're not really surrounded by a lot, but the ground's creating cracks.
Okay, no DP mod.
No, we'll go difficulty 6.
And I have 4 successes.
Wonderful, 4 successes. You deftly maneuver the wheelchair and yourself, avoiding any of the rocks or broken gravel or anything like that. So, doing very well there. The people seem to be coalescing around a column near the freeway. It looks like it's one of the sturdier constructs. Looking around, it seems that everybody is just watching as the water against the Seattle waterfront grows and then crashes. You can hear the twisting of metal and the explosion of water versus brick and steel.
Have we made it to a tsunami safe area?
You're in as safe a place as you could imagine. You're
Okay.
not near the coast. And you're not near Lake Washington, though that's another concern.
Right.
The white water falls against the waterfront, and you can see in the distance that the great wheel, falls into the ocean, and the water just rushes through the streets, seemingly trying to climb up towards where you're at. But even at the magnificent height of the tsunami, it could only get, in that time frame, 3, 4, 5 blocks. But cars and people and debris all just seemingly push with no friction going up, depositing just chaos and destruction on the street. The water, as you're watching, begins to siphon back out. It's the worst of the waves but it's not the end of the disaster. You also recognize that there goes Pike Place.
Mhm.
There goes most anything up to, you know, Fifth Avenue. That includes the entrance to the Theater of the Mind, the Conjurer's Cubbyhole, and also Construct Grey, that you infiltrated, several months ago. What are your thoughts upon realizing that that's a disaster to the leadership of both major awakened factions in the city?
My first concern is Charlie. And also Mark.
Which,
Because-
by the way, they have been dating since New Year's.
Hey, yay! Okay, so so they're my first concern because I know they were out there or presumably they were out there on the Olympic Peninsula. I don't know where they were at this exact moment. And that wave didn't just hit this shore, depending on where those big rocks landed. So, without really expecting too much, but hoping to maybe be able to goose it a little bit, I'm going to pull my phone out and try to reach Charlie.
Okay. Yeah, you go ahead and you type in the numbers. The emergency lights have gone on. The sirens have not stopped. It seems there's still tsunami warning in effect. The Earth occasionally has its aftershocks.
Mm-hmm.
The cell towers do seem to still be operating. So you do get signal out. But it goes right to voicemail. It rings, nothing.
Okay, well, I leave a voicemail.
Okay.
I'm also going to, hey, Charlie, give me a call as soon as you get this message. I'm just looking to know that you're safe. I am going to call Jezzy too. If you can't reach me, at least get a hold of her if you can. I'm going to leave a message with her if I don't get a hold of her either. We got to get back together.
Right.
And then I'm going to call Jezzy.
Okay. Jezzy doesn't answer the phone at this point, but there's no answer. She's seemingly dealing with her own stuff.
Mm-hmm. Same message, same basic message.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm also going to drop a text into our group chat with the same idea. Like I said, fully wasn't expecting to actually reach them because potentially they are extremely busy.
In these minutes, you hear another crash of waves. This time to the north and a bit to the west. Seems that secondary tsunami coming in from Lake Union has reached that area. Not as grand as the waterfront, but the couple of blocks surrounding that area does include the liquid haze, and not quite as far to where the Space Needle is, but that kind of area.
So potentially the liquid haze is also out of commission at least. Okay, my next phone call is to Mark. Remind me, do we have... Wow. Mark's boss, whose name has totally escaped me right now.
No, go.
Welcome, thank you. Wow, I knew it was another M.
Mark, Malcolm, Matthew.
I got too many M's. Did he give us a direct contact number, or was it just through Mark?
Malcolm, you get the idea that he doesn't really have a cell phone.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and contact Mark.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So you call Mark, you've got his number, and we are going to leave it there for a moment while we transition to the other mages here. Lucia and Rhenard, you have been summoned to assist the Society of Ether in the investigation into the strange lights. And you were brought into a... Lucia, for your point of view, you were brought in magically through a door with the assistance of Mark Cardassian as he introduced you to Zeppelin 22. This is a futuristic mobile Zeppelin laboratory that the Society uses to investigate all sorts of crazy aerial phenomena. Inside is it seems very clean and scientific lab, so to speak. So, with that, the three of you, two of you with Mark, bear witness to the destruction of the waterfront and everything that was described before, but from a very almost peaceful vantage point. What are you doing?
I'm just in shock. Really wondering if this is real, which hadn't crossed my mind up until the wave started.
Yeah, I think that's more or less accurate for myself as well. Just kind of shock. Overall panic.
Mark is sharing your sentiments as he looks over at the waterfront and sees everything that's happening, and he takes that moment to kind of look around, and you feel that he's pushing his senses beyond the local, and he's a little distracted. Around you, the collection of scientists in the room are all switching their perspective and their focus from studying the lights to watching the events unfold and trying to see like if they're connected, what's going on. Both of you have expertises as well. You are both scientists to a degree, more or less. The crew, there is a crew, a captain, and all the people flying this dirigible. They are all hands on deck at this point. You feel the ship list a bit as the winds, are chaotic with the waves coming and going. What are you two up to once the shock kind of subsides?
I mean, this is my first time on this vehicle,
Yeah.
so I don't really know how to help. How
would you like
fall
to help?
into just I'd like to help. Probably just ask Mark or the captain, whoever's closer, what do you need? What can we do?
You go up to Mark. Mark kind of shakes him. Says like, he's not there. Where'd he go? I can't feel him. I'm sorry. What was that, sweetheart?
What do we need to do? There's so many people down there.
You know, usually not one to be without words. I think we should. Oh, that's a lot of people. We gotta. I'm gonna talk to the captain and see if we can find a way to help anybody without breaching protocol. Okay. I guess try to help with the recording. Much data as we can get as possible, I suppose. And oh god, he's okay. Just just do what you know what? Pray. Maybe pray. I don't know. I'm willing to try anything. And he goes up to the bridge to speak with the captain.
All right. I will offer a hand to the person I've just met, Rhenard.
Mm-hmm.
Say, will you pray with me?
He gets kind of an awkward expression, despite the overwhelming carnage happening outside, and says, I'll be honest with you, I've never been one for faith.
Well, will you stay with me while I do? And then let's try and figure out this recording business.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay.
She'll take the stranger's hand, and
He looks awkward.
I could feel it. And offer a sweet prayer for them and the people in disaster down below.
Okay. Go ahead and
Yeah, how does that? How do you roll for that?
Well, the question is, are you trying to do anything? Are you trying to actually affect something with your awakened will?
Right now it's mostly a
Go ahead.
a general marshaling of spiritual strength.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
People are confused and scared. Whatever they need to do, may they have the strength to do it.
This is the time for angels, of course. So yeah, go ahead and roll Hegarty. Difficulty is going to be 5. Not even that. Yeah, 5. What's the And as Lucia prays, you feel the gathering of metaphysical ether, Rhenard. You recognize that there is some sort of energy being expelled and controlled through her prayer.
Seems surprised by that.
Not even offended. Successes 6.
Holy cow. Okay. How'd you get 6 successes?
Woo!
I don't know.
Maximum should
look
be
at
3.
you go.
Oh,
Maximum should be 3.
did I not do it right?
She did it twice.
Not sure how. Oh.
If I need to do it again, I will.
You rolled your dice pool tool. You just need to hit the button that says Hegarty. That's
Oh.
going to be 3 dice with a difficulty of 5.
Oh, okay.
But there you are. 4
And she
successes.
still got the max.
I was
Look at you
still
go.
wrong. Max 3, I was wrong. Max is still 6, but this time it's 4. Overwhelming success. So there is a surge of spiritual power and energy that flows through Lucia, and it disperses itself outwards towards the city as there are going to be some unknowing recipients of such a blessing. Spirits will do their work, and you feel that it's going to help.
All right.
Even Rhenard. Is Rhenard? Rhenard? I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
Rhenard.
Rhenard. Rhenard, you feel oddly calmed by this flow of protective spiritual energy. The ether definitely reacted to her request.
Huh. He seems surprised by this.
As I imagine he would. What are you guys doing now?
I mean, I think probably still just watching what's occurring. I feel like it'd be hard to pull your eyes away from that.
Indeed. For Rhenard, go ahead and roll intelligence and let's say science. Let's get a big dice pool. Because as you're watching this in disbelief, you're still taking in this data. You're still trying to figure out like what is happening.
Okay, so to do both, what do I need to do here?
Right. So if you go to like where it says dice pool or die pool 1 and you click on the gear, it'll allow you to put intelligence and then science into that.
Oh, okay, I see. I gotcha.
I love these character sheets. They're really well done. There's some issues with them, some minor things, but ultimately I like them.
Okay, and then I just hit where it says die pool 1 after I've put those in.
Yeah, you can change the name, but yeah, if you just hit the die pool 1 for whatever, yeah. It's going to ask you what the difficulty is going to be. In this case, it's going to be 6.
Is that DP mod?
No, that's going to stay 0. That's if we were adding additional dice for other purposes. Okay, 4 successes. Yeah, that's really well done.
Cool.
Yeah, so your scientific mind, you're watching all of this, and you're doing the calculations of how many people may have perished, how many people are still at risk. You definitely know that the initial tsunami is going to lead to others, unless there's some sort of cancellation of their waves. Usually that's from the same frequency or whatever. You know that the order of events from the initial tsunami is going to be that the water's going to crash, go back out, and the waters that receded from nearby lakes or that are connected it's going to flow back into those lakes, and they're going to flood and tsunami, and it's going to kind of ping pong in the sound for a little while. Probably for the next 30 to 60 minutes, there's going to be a series of waves on all the shores of the surrounding bay, the sound. You also recognizing at the instruments that everyone was using in the center table, that there is also seismic activity happening. So it's not just the meteors that crashed. They may have even triggered fault line activity.
So the activity is along fault lines then?
Seemingly so. There's definitely some activity going on. There's definitely there's definitely seismic activity. So.
Sure.
I'm sorry. Did
Yes.
we see the meteors come down?
I believe I described that for you, but
Yeah, I believe so too. Just it was long enough ago. I was not sure.
yeah, no, there was definitely meteor showers. There was one large chunk that fell far to the west, beyond the horizon. So you're not sure about that, but smaller bits of sky fell into the Puget Sound while there was this earthquake happening.
Wow.
Couldn't just
Okay.
be one disaster, could it?
No, apparently not.
All right. So as
Never
you're
do anything halfway.
never, as this is occurring and you have prayed and Rhenard is doing the calculations, Mark comes back in. He's like, all right, so, and then his phone rings. And he looks down and he's like, oh, I gotta take this. And he puts it on and he's like, Inea, oh my god, how are you?
I'm good. I'm so glad to hear your voice. You're the first one I've been able to get a hold of so far.
Okay, yeah.
Have you heard from Charlie?
I was hoping you had.
I left him messages, him and Jesse both, but I haven't heard anything from them yet. I'm kind of getting really worried, but I am.
I'm worried too. I was. The first thing I did was to try and reach out and see if I could feel him, and I don't think he's here anymore.
Wait.
And I thought maybe he had gone off with you, maybe to like the Spirit Wilds or something.
I am in the middle of what is of the homeless encampment that I was visiting when this happened. I have not seen them today.
Oh no. Let me 1 second.
Okay.
And he in the room, Lucia and Rhenard, you see almost a shifting of shadow and light as Mark's form goes a little bit translucent and then becomes solid again. And then Inea, Mark standing right in front of you. All right, so
Oh, okay.
let me see where you're at. You are okay. Yeah, not too bad. The destruction here is definitely way less than down there.
Yeah, that was why I mean, you could see it coming when it started. Jesus.
Okay. Well, it looks like you've got a good group here, but I would recommend keeping everybody here. This is going to become pretty wild.
Yeah. Not everybody can move all that well, so I'm gonna start moving.
Okay. How do you feel about air travel?
I'm good with it. I have no idea how any of these people are going to feel that way or feel about it.
Well, do your best. Is Jesse here? You said you couldn't
No.
get hold of her.
I haven't seen anybody today. I was here by myself.
Jesse would have been really good for this. Okay.
Yeah. So would Charlie, actually.
Yeah. Well, you can't be everywhere at once. Well,
Yeah.
apparently neither can I. Well, okay. I can, but I'm not going to.
No, but if you hear from Charlie, feel free to drop everything and answer him, because I am... Damn.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good in courtroom. I'm good with a few people. I can't handle this crowd. Yeah, Jesse would be perfect for this. I will be right back. Look up to the sky. You'll see us.
Us?
Oh, don't worry. You'll know.
Go. It doesn't matter right now. The important thing is getting us out of here.
Of course. And with that, he shimmers and fades away. He's definitely going to pick up some paradox for that. Just saying. He has to play by the same rules you guys do, too. All right.
Today is going to be a day for paradox. I can already see that coming.
That depends on what you do. For you guys in the mobile lab, it seems as if he is talking to the phone like he normally was. There was no real disconnect for that. And then you see the same kind of shimmer effect go back to normal. He puts his phone back in his pocket. He's like, okay, there is a group of people that we need to help, and they are not going to be prepared for us. So we're going to decloak the ship, and we're going to go save some sleepers. How's that?
Great.
I suppose.
I thought you would be more enthused. All right, I'm going to go tell the captain. And he runs back up to the top, to the bridge.
You tell what any of this stuff, sorry.
Go ahead.
Once Mark leaves, just ask Rhenard, do you know what parts of this are recording equipment?
Do I have any idea
Both of
what?
you. Yeah, both of you can roll intelligence plus technology.
Six?
Oh, wow.
Difficulty
Nice.
6?
Oh, yes, difficulty 6.
Oof.
Yeah. You look around, Lucia, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, this is easy. And you immediately go to like one of the stations that looks like it's got recording equipment. It doesn't take long for Rhenard to kind of pick up the same vibe and recognize that this is equipment that is designed to read and record not just physical phenomenon in the area, but also like primal energy and metaphysical ether, the sways of that.
Great. We'll get it turned on and make sure it's recording.
Yeah, I would say with the 6 successes, easy enough. The two of you kind of figure out how this is kind of the common paradigm that you both kind of share, is that everybody does things through tech here, and it's kind of nice. Even Lucia, even more so, you recognize that some of this is interpreting dimensional, the gauntlet, and like dimensional fluxes, from everywhere. With that said, with that roll, yeah, you're doing good. Go ahead and give me a perception plus awareness as well. Now that you've got the equipment recording and inspecting.
Is that just
Lucia or both of us?
I'd say Lucia. Rhenard doesn't have any real expertise with spirit or dimensional science. But 5 successes from Lucia. You see that the luminal phenomenon has increased in size and luminosity by, a good 5% since you were looking at it earlier, and that there is definitely a flow of primal energy with the ebb and flow of the tsunamis that's also affecting the lights.
Oh, wow.
And as you make this realization, the Zeppelin itself starts to steer, and you can feel it turn, starts moving towards the east.
I don't know what this means, but if there was any doubt, those meteors, this wasn't random. This isn't something that just happened.
You mean it wasn't random?
There's ether affecting it and being affected by it. This is someone or something did this.
Not a particularly settling thought.
No. No, not at all. Have you been on this before when it lands? Does it land?
No idea.
Okay. I was thinking we could get ready for whoever we're taking on, but we'll just keep an eye on this for now.
I'm just as out of my depth here as you are, unfortunately.
One of the other scientists looks around and is like, "This is some heavy shit, man." I gotta tell you, I ain't never seen anything like this. Holy cow! The temporal fluctuations. I mean, there's some things that are telling me that it's yesterday, and there's some things that are telling me it's today and tomorrow, all at the same time. And then there's this readout here from the entropy gauge. We are in some strange territory here. It's almost as if we're in a different dimension, but we're not. Like, the readings are that strange. I really wish Professor Lucas was here. He brought over like 17 points of data that he collected on the luminal phenomenon, but he went off to go talk to a friend of his. We're not sure.
A friend of his.
Yeah, he said he needed to get some air, which I don't understand because we're already in the air. But he left in his car. It was weird.
Huh.
But I think we can start parsing through some of his data. I don't think, given the events, I don't think he'd mind if we kind of unpacked some of that. So we're going to start on that now. And
Great.
the other scientists kind of agree, like, yeah, well, let's start doing that. And Mark comes out. It's like, okay, Rhenard, Lucia, we're about to land. I'm going to need some help kind of corralling people.
I'll do my best.
Well, I mean, that's all we can do, right?
Yeah.
So, a little further to the east, the large Zeppelin, this football-shaped floating skyship, appears out of nowhere. Inea, you see behind it the green lights, and it is silhouetted as it begins to descend. And it doesn't look like the Goodyear blimp or the Hindenburg or anything like that. This is like seeing a UFO. It doesn't make any sound. It seemingly doesn't have any rotors or motors. It just moves.
So the first thing I did when Mark disappeared on me was put my phone away, and then go let Con and Cinder and everybody know, hey, we've got rescue coming. I have no idea what it's going to look like, and it's possible it's going to be a little weird. Promise it's okay. But you're gonna need to help me get these people out of here, because this is not safe yet.
No, yeah, I mean, of course. We could certainly do that, right, guys? Yeah, let's do it. And Cinder begins spinning the poi. She started actually doing some fire dancing without any fire. Doesn't want to cause that big of a commotion, but she does start working the crowd, and
Okay.
kind of she will. Yeah, she's going to work while Sabra sings, and they're going to kind of work together on this. Okay. A solid 3 successes. She definitely is getting a good start on getting the crowd to kind of Pied Piper their way and kind of gather in one location. While Sabra, he tells the group, "Hey, everybody, everything will be fine. It's gonna be safe. We're gonna provide a little bit of entertainment for you, and don't worry about everything. Eventually, we will have rescue vehicles here, and I know you don't necessarily like the cops. We're not going to deal with the cops. We're going to make sure that this is safe for all of you." And they do their best. Eventually the crowd gets into that one area, and then the Zeppelin appears from nowhere, and the crowd kind of freaks out a little bit, but doing their best. Neither one of them are the greatest at mind effects. The crowd definitely has its wariness to the descending UFO Zeppelin. As it descends, the basket underneath is not really a basket. It's more of a little room. It's like its own building, but it grows some legs as it hits the ground, and a ramp descends. When you look up the ramp and you see into the Zeppelin, you get a sense that all the space inside the giant football has rooms. It's not just the little basket underneath.
It's bigger on the inside.
It's actually not bigger on the inside. It just actually uses the space on the inside.
It just seems like it.
Seems a little like it, yes. And descending from the ramp is Mark Cardassian, no relation, followed by a familiar face for you, Inea, Lucia, and an unfamiliar face, Rhenard.
Okay. So I have gotten a hold of Brain.
Mm-hmm. He looks up at the Zeppelin. He's like, "Holy shit, we're being abducted." I read about this.
Brain, no, this guy is my friend, and I gave him a call. He was able to come. So we're gonna get out of here and be safe, okay?
If you say so.
It'll be okay, I promise.
All right. Oh, man, that's big.
Okay, and I'm gonna bring him obviously with me to the foot of the thing, the ramp.
Yeah. And
Mark, thank you.
Hi. Hi, how are you, sir? My name's Mark. And you are?
Mark, this is Brain. Brain, this is my friend Mark.
Excellent. Hi, Inea. Sorry, you always gotta be nice to people. Shit, fuck. So this is the crowd, right? Yeah. And
yes,
it's about 50 people.
Yeah.
All sorts of different children, men, women, families.
Anything you'd see in a tent city.
A lot, mostly adults. There's a few kids, but not many. But nobody looks like they're having their best day of their life. In fact, they all look like this is the worst day of their life. Compounded by the fact that they have to do all this.
They did just watch their city get inundated, so there's that.
Some of them cheered when they saw that.
Understandably. Okay. I'm gonna kind of walk up the ramp just a little bit to kind of get up above where people can see me a little better.
All right, excellent.
Because they at least recognize me.
Khan walks up with you.
Oh, that's helpful. That is super helpful.
You.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Can I get your attention, please? Okay, so everyone, this is Mark. He's a friend of mine. I was able to get a hold of him, and he happened to have a way to get us out of here because we are not safe here right now. So we need to get out of here as soon as we can. This is the best I could do. But we need you all to kind of calmly come on up this way. Let's get inside and get out of here as soon as we can.
And from behind you, you hear Khan say, "You heard the lady, let's go!" And that's him projecting and casting his own effect.
That's useful too. Thank you, Khan.
Khan's a big dude, but he's also well liked by the group. He gets 2 successes. The crowd begrudgingly is like, they start moving. His intent was to really get them to go and start moving, but nobody started running. So he's a little disappointed in himself. He's like, I tried, but here they come.
Better than nothing.
What's that?
Better than nothing.
Better than nothing, exactly. As the crowd does kind of start moving in, though, there is some infighting. Apparently, one of the addicts feels that somebody else has wronged him. There's a small fight that starts between 2 guys near the back.
Okay, I'm gonna make my way back there.
Okay.
And now I'm busting out the intimidation.
Gotcha. What you doing?
Hey, You two. Knock it off. We don't have time for this.
Look, he stole from me. I'm going to get my shit back from this motherfucker. And
you can do it once we're on board.
I don't think you're going to like that. And he goes to punch the guy.
Okay, and I go to stop him.
Okay. How you stop it?
I'm actually going to use my martial arts and block.
Okay. So, yeah, roll strength plus martial arts, and he is going to roll his attempt. Both difficulty 6.
Oh, so I have
9.
9 successes.
Definitely, you have the advantage here versus his 3 successes. So a margin of 6. You definitely grab his arm before he ever touches the other man and flip it, and then use his momentum to turn him around, and he flips down and lands on the ground. He's going to take some bashing damage from that.
Yeah, is he face down or face up?
Face up on his ass.
Oh, sitting on his ass. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Let
on
me
his
get down
back,
right.
but yeah.
Oh, on his back?
Yeah.
I'm going to put my knee in his chest, right on his chest bone,
Okay.
and lean down. You can stay here and wait for the water, or you can settle your ass down and walk on board. Which is it going to be?
He's frightened of you, and he just starts crying. It's like, I just wanted to make sure that I needed my dope, and he took my dope, and I don't know what I'm going to do without any of it. Why?
Look, we'll get you taken care of, but we got to get on board first.
I just need that. Do you have any change?
Come on, let's go on board. And then I'm going to get off him and help him up.
He begrudgingly takes your hand and just mopily goes along with the crowd at this point. The other guy just gives him a finger and says, fuck off, dude.
I'm going to look at him and say, did you take something from him?
No.
Look me in the face and say you didn't take something from him.
No.
Did you want to stand here and wait for the water?
No, I'm going on a boat. I mean, the sky shit. What the fuck is this? My God, I thought these things exploded years ago.
Move your ass.
Moving. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to keep an eye on him because I don't believe him.
Naturally. Why would you? All right. Lucia and Rhenard, you both see Inea and the bridge trolls handle this crowd. You do see that things are relatively moving smoothly, but there is one small, like a child in the back that's just kind of looking around, really kind of scared, and feels like there's some anticipation there, and they're not really ready to get onto the ship.
Well, Lucia's probably playing flight attendant, just welcoming everyone. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. We're gonna get things organized. Come on on board. Yeah.
Welcome to Zeppelin 22.
This is my first flight too. It's been a weird day.
The sneaking suspicion, it's just going to get weirder.
Well, and she has a vague thought that her new friend Rhenard might be a little off-putting to some of these folks. He has sort of a authoritarian air about him somehow.
Kind of a colder feel, yeah.
So she's gonna kind of nudge him and point at the child. Say, can you help with that? Oh, you thought it was awkward before.
I said, sorry, I was muted. He says, probably not, but I'll give it a try. And I think what I would like to do is, in lieu of any kind of empathy or anything like that, because he doesn't have a whole lot of that, I'm gonna try and use leadership to... Well, this is just a little kid, though. I'm trying to think of something that would be realistic to do, but... No, I mean, I guess, yeah, he'll just approach the child and kind of awkwardly say, listen, I understand this is a rough time, but we've got to get going.
The kid looks up, and they don't seem to be as ragged or haggard as many of the others in the crowd. They definitely seem a little bit more put together. But there's still some dirt on their face. Their hair is not quite as clean as a child that would have a normal, non-homeless lifestyle. But they look up at you like, but I'm waiting for Johnny. He was just here. We can't get on without him.
Is it possible Johnny's already on board?
No. He just went away around the corner to pick up something. He said he was going to get some cigarettes, and I haven't seen him. You know, that was just a few minutes ago. It was like half an hour.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to think of, I suppose, a way to deal with this while showing an uncharacteristic empathy, because his inclination right now is just to kind of snap at this child. But
you can do whatever. Yeah.
I realize I'm just telling you what his thought process is, kind of as I work it out myself. But no, I don't think he's going to try and authoritate this child into complying. Instead, he'll kind of say, all right, well, what if I go and take a look and make sure that Johnny gets on board? Would you feel more comfortable with that?
I mean, yeah, I could take you over to his favorite shop. I mean, little bodega down the street.
I don't think we have time to run down the street. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but the situation is not growing better.
No, the sun is going down. Emergency services are out with, trying to take care of what seems to be, just chaos with the streets being flooded. The lights in many places are gone. Like definitely the city is starting to black out as the power station has also been hit. Surprisingly, that's not too far from the coast as well. We're smart. I looked into this. So yeah.
The shit creatives look up, and that gets them on watch lists all over the country.
Susceptibility of local power station to explosions. No.
To flooding. Okay, yeah, I'm on at least 5 watch lists myself. It's okay.
Yeah. How to build a bomb. No.
I think I'm gonna attempt to use my my leadership, I guess, to try and rally this individual and any other people around them to kind of say, look, I recognize that y'all that you're hesitant here, but this isn't a situation where you wait. This is something where we need to act now.
Okay. Yeah. Let's say manipulation plus leadership. Difficulty is going to be 5. This kid doesn't have like a lot of willpower.
Leadership.
Average human's going to be less than 5. Mages are different. Mages are all 5 or higher. Normal people
Oof.
get that.
I'm not rolling well tonight.
Manipulation, leadership, lots of dice, but 2 1s, 2 10s, and a 6. So that is actually 3 successes.
Okay.
It's a weird. It says 1, but I count the 10s as 2s. So,
Okay.
Because again, I want to reward people for rolling 10 and punish them for 1s. And in this case, you got both. So I can't do either. But 3 is a solid success. That is convincing to this child. And then, okay, well, okay.
I'll make sure that your friend finds it on board.
Well,
Finds their way on board.
okay. He was just going to get cigarettes. And the kid kind of follows the crowd going back on.
Is this a going to get cigarettes and never comes back kind of a thing? Because yikes.
No, this is not the kid from Iron
That
Man
was-
joke.
That's what first occurred to me too. Yeah.
I mean, it would be tragic, but it would be bad timing and not likely.
It would make us all give you the hairy eyeball, Tim.
The Cindy side eye, yeah. All right. So, what are we doing now? The crowd is starting to get up there. They're starting to take their way up to the center of the dirigible. A lot of them are really confused. A lot of them think they're just having a hallucination and going along with it. The crew, you can see, are doing their best to handle, this population that they don't normally deal with. It is very stressful and very difficult. Not everybody is a agreeable person, and not everybody smells good. So
Inea is kind of bringing up the rear, trying to help herd the last. Oh, then she's keeping an eye out for stragglers and stuff. When she gets to the foot of the ramp again, first of all, she's going to look around to make sure somebody got Brain up the ramp, because if they didn't, then she will.
Brain is safe and in a secure spot.
Okay, so she's going to turn around and do a last scan for anybody that might have been, behind.
Yeah,
hiding
Cinder
behind or
and
something.
Sabra and the dogs and Khan, they've all kind of come to the foot of the ramp, and it seems like everybody that was in the crowd has gotten up there, graciously herded by Lucia.
Okay, I guess that's everybody then. We're going to need to help keep everybody calm until we can locate somewhere they can put us down.
Some shelter that's definitely not in the splash zone is what I'm thinking.
That's my biggest concern, yeah. So,
Inea.
Lucia.
Okay.
Lucia.
Hmm?
Hi, good to see you. I am so
It's
sorry
good
I
to
couldn't
see
say
you.
hello sooner.
It's okay. Yeah, this is A strange day.
It's been a day, hasn't it? So, Lucia, these are my friends, Khan and Cinder and Sabra, and I have lost a name. Who am I missing?
Well, she knows Mark.
Okay,
but
that's
she
maybe
came
what I
with
was
Mark.
thinking of. Okay, yeah, no. Okay, so Khan and Cinder and Sabra,
But
they
the
were working
dogs,
with and
Chubby, Badge, and Fenris.
I introduced the dogs too. They've probably already begun to say hello.
They all gather around Sabra.
Yeah, they were with me at the homeless encampment when this all started. So let's get up there and try and keep everybody calm and settled. Hey, Khan, did you see the guys that I dealt with a minute ago?
I did.
I'm
That's,
pretty sure the one guy did steal from the other one.
Yeah, it sounds like Bill.
Okay.
That's
I don't
fine.
know how to. I don't know how to deal with that.
Let me handle it.
Thank you. You are an angel. Let's get up
Not even close.
and out of here. Let's get out of here.
Does anybody know any songs?
Oh yeah, of course. We'll put on a show.
Yeah, Cinder and Sabra probably got that one covered.
Wonderful.
So, Rhenard, what are you doing now that you've got some information that there's an individual by the name of Johnny that should be here, but missed the herd?
I mean, given the circumstances, like I'll make a quick look for this guy, but if I'm not expecting to find an individual person in the chaos all around, but he'll give it a try at least.
Okay. What is your method of looking into it? Are you going to like run up and down the block, or are you going to like use some sort of device to search for life signs, patterns, or whatever?
If I can do the latter, that would be great.
I mean, you don't have the ability to sense out life, but you do. You could follow energy and like the patterns of such, and you could also, with time, you might even get some ability to either make yourself move faster or see through space and look backwards in time.
Right. I was considering that as well.
I believe.
So let's try and do the looking back into the space.
Look. Past and future sight. Yeah, go ahead and roll your arete. This is a coincidental effect, so difficulty is going to be 5.
Okay.
Is this something that you've done before, that you've practiced, or?
Probably.
Okay.
I would imagine
so we can
so.
say that this is something that you've codified with your equipment and something that you've got practice in. So we'll call this like one of your rotes. So that will afford you a DP mod of 2.
Okay.
As well.
Am I putting in? Sorry, go ahead.
You also, as a disciple in Prime, you probably have some either personal quintessence or access to other like batteries, that sort of thing, that would hold quintessence. And when you spend quintessence, you can reduce the difficulty of the roll. So the difficulty is 5. You can reduce it by spending 2 quintessence all the way down to 3 if you wanted. And you can definitely use Prime to channel that energy. You don't even actually have to have it on you. You could just slaughter a rabbit or something.
Sure.
Don't slaughter a rabbit. I don't want you to do that. But you get the idea.
Sure.
Also,
more or less.
as part of the rules, because that's a lot, you can spend a willpower to get an automatic success.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to roll my Hegarty.
With a
And
dice pool modifier of 2.
Am I going to put an attribute or an ability in?
No, you're just going to hit the button that says Hegarty.
Okay. And DP mod what?
2.
2. Okay, and I think I'm just going to leave the difficulty where it's at.
Okay, so difficulty 5.
Okay.
Okay, looks like 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So 3 successes on a time magic. You are gazing into the past. You know what? This is going to be a good moment for us to take a small, 5-minute break while I head to the restroom, and we'll resolve this in just a moment.
Sure.
Okay, I'll be right back. All right. So Rhenard is looking into the past, and then going to try and follow that moment. How are you doing this? What is the method that Rhenard uses to peer into past events?
So I think that Rhenard has developed a particularly deep and kind of robust mind palace technique for memory for memorization of stuff.
Okay.
Just for the to be able to use abilities like this with his time magics.
Right.
And I think he's just kind of what I'm driving at is that he has certain techniques that he has developed over time that kind of in conjunction with each other can lead him to see things that other people might not see in an environment. I'm thinking very Sherlock Holmesian vibe.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Kind of using your heightened intelligence to kind of construct the and following kind of what the ether tells you, and then
sure,
you can
yeah,
follow the causality.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that last bit especially, yes.
Yeah, makes sense. So is there any particular equipment that you use for this, or is this all just kind of a mental psychic event?
I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest, I don't feel like I have a good enough feel for the system at this point to say, oh yeah, there's this equipment that I'm going to use, but so for now, probably
entirely
not.
Up to you. Your entire imagination can be however you want this.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, no, I think the way I've described this, it's mostly a mental thing.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So you use your mental training to kind of read the causality of certain things, and you've met the child, and you close your eyes and you walk yourself back to before the catastrophe, before the earthquakes, and you go far enough back. It's basically 30-60 minutes in that time frame, and then you're there, and you're standing watching this child and presumably Johnny, talking. You can't quite hear everything. It's kind of in this muffled sound. But you then start following the sequence of events as Johnny says goodbye to this child and says that they'll be back. And you can kind of pick up those little visual cues. And you start following Johnny as they walk off towards the bodega. And as you're following them in your mind's eye, you see them approach the shop, enter the shop, and then they go and they reach behind and they pull out a gun, and they are yelling at the clerk, and they're shaking the gun at the clerk, and then the earthquake starts happening. And in that moment of distraction, the clerk jumps the counter, grabs the gun, and the two of them are in a fight. And then the gun goes off, and you see the clerk freaking out. They run out of the shop, and Johnny is on the ground.
Yeah, that's kind of one of the things that I figured may have happened. Something along those lines, at least, not that specifically. Well, that's a problem, but not a problem for right now.
You get the vision, and it seems like Johnny may be in need of help, or may be beyond.
Johnny's still alive. Okay.
You don't know. He was on the ground, he was bleeding, but doesn't necessarily, like, from your vision, you couldn't really get more than the visuals of it.
So, as this all of this information kind of settles over him, and he comes to these conclusions and realizes these various events have taken place, there's kind of he has like a little like angel devil on his shoulder moment. And one side he's saying, oh, this guy put himself in his own situation, you know what, why he's going to be endangering all these other people. The needs of the many will always outweigh the few and all that. But on the other side he's saying, but he's still a person, and shouldn't each individual person be treated with the dignity and care and kindness that you would want to be treated with. So he's having this little moral quandary as he's standing there just kind of staring off in the direction of the bodega, and eventually kind of scowls at himself and goes to find Lucia, I think.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. She's right there at the foot of the ramp with Inea and the bridge trolls.
He'll come up to her and kind of quietly say, do you have the praying earlier made me, you seem like the type. Do you have any kind of healing available to you?
Oh. No, not really, but Inea might, or she certainly knows someone. Is someone hurt?
Potentially.
Potentially. Are you going to hurt someone?
No.
Okay.
It's a long story. Just I need someone who can heal in some capacity.
I'll go. Let's go ask Inea. She'll know.
All right. Come find me at the bodega down the street here, and he gives her directions, and then he's gonna run off in the direction.
You're leaving? Okay. I'll go find Inea.
Yeah, not too far, about 5 feet away.
Inea, Rhenard said someone's hurt, and he needs a healer or doctor or someone. You do that? Do you?
Yeah, I can do. I
Kind of what
Not-
shamans do.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I got that. I can do that, but I didn't think we had anybody get hurt. Did I miss
Yeah.
some?
He ran towards the bodega. I was surprised too.
Okay, well, let's go find out. Actually, is Mark right here in this conversation group?
Yeah, he's nearby. Easy.
Mark,
enough.
I'm gonna run and check on this. We're gonna be
Yeah.
as fast as we can.
Yeah, we don't have much time. We need to get back up in the air.
Yeah.
Otherwise, way too many questions.
Yeah, I've got a few myself, but later. Yeah, let's go, Lucia.
Okay.
So you go running
I-
after.
Flat run in the direction, because chances are good I've at least passed this bodega they're talking about.
Yeah, you know the area fairly well. You definitely have advantage over Lucia in terms of like just straight foot speed. But we're not. It's not a competition. It's not a race.
And
you
honestly,
managed-
Could be.
Nay is not thinking about that.
Yeah, not a race against each other. Anyway.
No.
Change. Put on the game face. There we go. So, and you round the corner and you get to the bodega and you see that Rhenard is there. When you catch up, what you do see is that there is a male body on the ground. What are you guys doing?
Oh, well, I'm going to kind of assume that the person on the ground is the injured party who requires assistance. So that's my focus. That's where I'm going. How big is the blood pool?
It's not sprawling. It's
Okay.
it's definitely more contained to the immediate 2.5 foot area around.
Is he
their
breathing?
torso. That's a good question.
This is what I'm checking as I go to my knees on the other side of him from this person that I haven't actually really been introduced yet and have seen for all of 30 seconds.
So Inea, you can see that they are still living. Your
Okay.
spirit sight, in addition to your senses with life, you spotted immediately.
Okay.
But they're definitely their aura is definitely pale.
Using life energy rapidly here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Place my hands over the, I assume fairly obvious at this point, entry wound.
Gunshot wound, just under the right rib cage.
I'm gonna make a quick glance around for the actual weapon. But I'm not spending a lot of time on it. It's literally is it within reach? Is he gonna shoot somebody if I wake him up? And I only wonder that because I have no idea how he got shot in the first place.
Right. Just perception and alertness.
Okay.
Difficulty. It's 6. Waiting for the day where I don't have to tell you a difficulty. It'll just be 6 all the time.
It'll just always be 6.
I mean, that's kind of where the game system's going. But, yeah.
Right. Uh-oh. Okay, I have 3 successes.
The gun itself is on the ground, or a gun is on the ground, and it looks like it's not by his hand. It's a few feet away.
It's away from
Yeah.
that. Okay. All right, so my concentration now goes to Gift of Prana on him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that is, I have to go look it up again. It is Arate and Life.
And yeah, it would be difficulty 7.
Oh, 7. Right, because this is lethal.
Lethal,
Where
yeah.
is-
And other person, yeah.
Right.
So you can spin quintessence, willpower.
I am.
You have
a
a large amount of quintessence just because it's been several months.
Right. And the quintessence is at least 1 guaranteed success, correct?
It lowers the difficulty.
Lowers the difficulty. I had it backwards. I do this
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, that's why
Okay.
I always mention it.
So I would like to use 1 willpower
Mhm.
and 1 quintessence. Blah, blah, blah. I can talk.
Okay. So yeah, difficulty is going to be 6, and roll Arate plus 3.
And I have 4 successes.
Total of 5.
5
with the
total.
willpower.
Yeah.
Okay. It is uncanny and disturbing as well. How do you give the gift of prana to this individual?
Honestly, with my hands over the gunshot wound, as though I'm just applying pressure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a direct injection of life
Okay.
energy, so to speak.
Yeah, this person who was, incapacitated with lethal damage, with 5 successes, that's 10, points of healing essentially. So as you put your hand and you push down, the blood on the ground itself just kind of right back into the wound, almost like it hadn't happened. And they cough and they sit up and take their first breath. You do get 1 paradox from that, as that is clearly vulgar healing. But,
Really obvious.
but they sit up. What the hell? That motherfucker. I'm gonna go get that bastard.
Whoa. No, not time for that. There is water coming. Earthquake's happening. We have to leave here.
What the fuck are you talking about, lady?
See how the bodega's empty?
All right. And he
No.
gets up to go for the register.
Okay, I'm gonna whack him across the back of the head with an effort to just knock him out.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Dexterity
Actually,
plus martial
this
arts.
is a martial arts, attempt
Yeah.
to just knock him out. Ah! Why? Dexterity and martial arts? Or strength?
I'm just seeing if you're using any of the techniques you got. Nerve,
Oh, I
pressure,
forgot about
strength.
those. Yeah. Nope. Yeah, nerve pressure point strike. So yeah, that's dex and martial arts with a difficulty of 7.
Yep. They are going to do their best, but they're not. They're no martial artists. I'm rolling so well. But
I
you get
have
1
5.
margin. You get 1 in the margin. So you go and do the strike here. And they are stunned. Yeah.
This.
So you prevent them from moving, and they are just unable to do anything at this point. You have their undivided attention.
Okay. And I look up at Lucia and Mr. I haven't met you yet.
Mrs. Rhenard.
Yeah, I'll look at the guy and kind of say, listen, see where you're coming from here. Seems like an easy score, but time and place. The world is kind of maybe ending right now. I'm not entirely sure, but you should go take a look outside before you do anything else. And I think that's probably going to color your judgment. And I'd like to incorporate my leadership in some
Yeah.
capacity if
course.
I can do so.
Yeah, seems reasonable. You're speaking from a place of authority.
All right.
Now that we have their attention.
So is that manipulation leadership?
Yes.
Okay.
Difficulty 6. Yeah.
6. All right. Right. Jeez, I am rolling badly.
Well, one success. They kind of look at you skeptically, and they're like, "End of the world bullshit." All right, fine. Can I at least get a pack of cigs?
I think that's fine under the circumstances.
All right, fine. And he goes to grab his gun.
Oh, no, I kick that away.
What the
Um,
fuck,
and-
man?
And then I follow it, pick it up, and stand there holding it. Not pointed, just holding it.
You know I gotta have that. He looks at you and he's like, "I've seen you. You know what it's like here."
Yeah, I do. And that's why you're not getting it back until you go take a look outside. And maybe not then. Probably not then. But go take a look outside.
He reaches in his back pocket, starts opening up the cigarettes, pulls out a lighter. He looks around. It's like green lights, gray ocean.
Where is the ocean?
That's a lot.
Yeah, and it's coming back.
He lights a cigarette, takes a drag. He's like, "Where are we going?"
Okay, let's go.
All right,
Yeah.
let's. Hell in a handbasket. Following you, lady. And
May has run entirely out of fucks today.
not today to have it. But the four of you get back to the Zeppelin, of which Johnny is like, "Okay." He looks at his cigarette. He's like, "No, that's not it."
Just go with it.
Throws the cig down, puts it out with his foot. He's like, "All right, fine, let's go. It looks better than here." And you guys board the Zeppelin. No, Lucia.
Hmm?
In the back of your mind, you hear Seraph. And you can feel their arm kind of wrap around you, and you kind of get that sense of warmth that you feel whenever they interact with you. You kind of go out of your vision for a moment, and they just say to you, "I am so proud of you today. You may be on the right path to becoming a guardian angel yourself. Just know you'll never do it better than me."
Well, that feels pretty good.
These are the people that we're trying to save. These are the people that you can preach to. I suggest, perhaps, that some of them could find a guardian angel if you helped them.
Yeah? Okay.
And your mind is imprinted with another vision of circuitry and um, like a more handheld device version of what you have been building in your own studio.
Oh, I need to write this down. I need to draw this.
And then the colder Seattle weather at night takes over again. You feel a little alone, even though you're surrounded by other mages, as everyone is climbing aboard the Zeppelin.
This is really incredible. This whole day.
Was horrific.
You saved that person.
Rhenard does not look convinced, but he doesn't verbally voice his
Oh,
clear skepticism.
Inea, as they're walking up, turns to Rhenard. Hi, I'm Inea. You probably caught that earlier. I haven't met you yet, and things have been a little crazy, but
Rhenard, Con.
Rhenard, Con, okay. I'm gonna yell Con and get 2 answers. Got it.
That's true.
Question for you. How did you know that kid was? I mean, do you know what happened?
When I approached that young man, and I gesture over to Johnny or whatever his name was, he suggested that his he called him his friend, was missing, and the only way that I was able to get him to agree to board the Zeppelin was if I promised to make sure that I looked for his friend in some capacity. And when I did, you know what I found.
Huh. Well, good call. You actually saved 2 of them today then, didn't you?
I suppose so.
That was a good call. Speaking of cons, I've got to catch up with the other con, but I'm sure we'll chat later too.
Certainly.
The group of you board the airship, and Inea, you follow the path upward and into this surprisingly very clean white interior. It feels very hermetic, hermetically sealed, I suppose.
Also hermetic, but
Yeah.
also hermetically sealed.
Yeah. But you get into like what seems to be more like kind of luxurious quarters. Like this was part of it is kind of there's always some sort of like, luxury when the Sons of Ether do something like this. And there's some larger rooms that they've allowed people to accommodate, and you come across that Khan's got that guy who got in a fight up against the wall, just holding him. Like, all right, so I'm glad we had this conversation. Don't fuck around and you won't find out. And he throws it back into the crowd. It's like, all right, everybody, be on your best behavior. These are nice accommodations. These are better than what we are normally used to. Please don't shit on the floor. There are toilets here. Okay. Speech over. Turns around. He's like, oh, Inea, good to see you.
Hey. Okay, so let's go find somewhere quiet to talk. I gotta ask you something.
Sure, yeah. What's the plan?
Just a quiet corner somewhere, away from people. So, the kid Johnny that we just brought on board with us.
Yeah. He's the
Getting the
he kind of looks after some of the kids here. They like him. He
Yeah.
seems to have a ability to hang out with children that I don't.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting that idea, but I think he just got
Not in a bad, creepy way.
got himself shot. Trying to knock over a bodega right before all the shit hit the fan.
Terrible timing, and not anything that we condone, but
No, I mean, but people are doing what they got to do, what they think they got to do to survive.
yeah.
That
that's
said,
the deal.
how do you feel about firearms?
Inside something like this, I kind of feel it's a bad idea.
Me too.
Yeah.
But he had one and went for it, and I kept him away from it.
Good.
I don't want to be carrying it around. How do you
Alright.
feel about keeping it safe?
He just holds his hand out.
Places it in his hand. I have not
He
cleared that firearm.
immediately unchambers the load, takes the magazine out, and it's like, and clearly with the skilled hands of somebody who has done this before, many, many, many times.
There's a reason I gave it to Khan.
And he just kind of pockets, all the various pieces. And he's like, I will hold on to it for him. It's not my property. He'll get it back. For better or
Later.
worse.
Yeah, well, you might talk to him about making the choices that he's making too. He might listen to you better than he'll listen to me.
I try not to judge these guys.
I'm not judging, but if that got him shot,
Yeah.
he's not great with it, and it's maybe a bad choice.
Duly noted. Absolutely. Khan walks past Mark. He's just like, you can kind of see him tense up a bit, and then like, thank you, Mark. It was very nice of you, fortuitous for you to bring your fancy skyship. Mark's like, anytime, brother. It's been a long time. How you doing? Khan's just like, I think you know. And then just walks off.
You kind of follow and walk up to Mark and be like, is there a problem?
No problem. Just history.
Okay. Because I don't really want to be putting either of you in an uncomfortable position.
I think we're in the most comfortable position we can be given the uncomfortable circumstances.
Okay. Fully fair point.
This is a
Speaking
pretty nice
of-
ship.
It is. It's fabulous. What need to know basis, I'm guessing?
As you say that, you feel the ship start lifting into the air, and you can see the entire city skyline through the very large windows along the edges. As the majority of your group have gone to the center of the Zeppelin. You're not quite sure how that works. You thought there was supposed to be helium or hydrogen in there, but seems to be fine.
Oh,
Nobody's got squeaky voices.
Yeah, I'm betting there's a whole lot about the ship that I don't know that I'm not sure I want to know.
And then, but eventually the bridge trolls kind of spread out. They kind of stick with their people. Lucia and Rhenard follow Mark back to more the lounge area, while there are other scientists in the laboratory area. It's a pretty large facility.
Flying facility.
Mm-hmm. And it's at this point that you actually get a response from Jezebel.
Via text or phone call?
Text.
Text. What does it say?
Say, I'm safe. I'm glad you are too. I got Amnesia out, and we're safe.
Any word from Charlie?
I was going to ask you the same.
Mark hasn't heard from him either.
Okay. I'm here at a shelter with Sunny and Amnesia and some others.
Okay, I get the location of the shelter from her.
Mm-hmm. It's a place that you've actually seen advertised for the past several months as Killian the Waymaker, one that you met a few months ago yourself, has decided that they are trying to help the city, and they are building halfway homes and shelters like that in the area.
That is sort of ringing a very vague bell, but my memory is not pulling it up.
You, he, Cinder, and Griffinclaw fought the first Alshard you encountered.
That's why it's okay. Wow, that was over a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whew, okay. Okay, stay safe. I'm still sort of on the move. I will let you know when I get settled, and then we'll work out how to meet up again.
And she responds, Roger Dodger, in a happy, smiley face.
Okay, so I go to... Ooh. I guess I will go to Mark first.
Okay. Mark
Hey, Mark.
Yeah. He looks a little confused, little distracted. He's like, yeah, what's up?
I'm so sorry. Just wanted to let you know I just heard from Jezzy.
Oh.
She's safe with Sunny and Amnesia. They got Amnesia out.
Oh, God. I was worried about her.
Yeah, I was too. Still no word from Charlie. He might have been out in the middle of nowhere, so...
Even if he's out in the middle of nowhere, if he's here on this earth, I know where he's at.
You're kind of scaring me.
You're scared.
You're probably scaring yourself a whole lot more.
Yeah, I mean, we're just gonna, we had a whole thing planned next week. It was gonna be fun. We were gonna go out and, he was gonna show me some fun new mushrooms in the woods. I didn't really care about the mushrooms, but it would have been fun to hang out in the woods.
You know what?
You just want a boyfriend and get away from all this sometimes.
I totally get you. You know what? I'm gonna go see if I can find any of my contacts that might be able to find him.
Yeah, I'm still trying to coordinate. The theater is down. I don't know. I can't get a hold of anybody there.
How about Malcolm? Any word yet?
He was out already.
Okay.
He was somewhere that, the Order of Hermes and he have an agreement, and he was out there in the astral plane, so I don't know what he's doing.
Okay.
Unavailable.
Okay. I'm gonna go make those inquiries, and I will let you know what I come up with.
I'm gonna sit here with these two and try and see if there's anything that we can, any other help that we can offer to the people. Because, well, quite frankly, this is bigger than I think any of us were prepared for.
Nobody prepares for something this size.
So, right. And
Okay.
Go ahead.
Nay is going to wander off again for a quiet corner, as away from people as possible, given the relatively cramped quarters. And she would like to meditate, but she's going to start with seeing if she can contact, if the ship has its own spirit.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll, say, wits and meditation. We'll see how that affects the difficulty for irritate roll.
I'm sorry, did you say a difficulty of 6?
Yes.
And I have just one success.
Okay. You can roll irritate. You're just trying to sense spirit, so difficulty is normally 4. With this meditation, it's going to go down to 3, so that's as low as it gets.
With the difficulty of 3?
Yes.
Is that what you just said? Okay.
Uh-huh. Total 3
And I have
successes.
3 successes. Yep.
So you open yourself up and you kind of feel for spiritual presence, and you get a sense that there is a collective of spirits that make up this ship, and you can see the little patterned spiders as they crawl all over the ship and communicate between one another. It's almost like when you really see the ship in the spiritual sense, it is one giant web of entity. And the pattern spiders communicate, and then the Zeppelin itself has a very cool, calm, slow process.
Okay.
You can feel all of that. You haven't made direct contact or anything like that, but you can, given your affinity for technology, you can sense that this is around. And while nobody here would ever give you that sort of credit, yeah, that's what it is.
Okay. And I'm also going to, after having sensed all of that, just sort of send out a general, hi, I'm, just saying hello, I'm here. Thank you for being here for the lot of us, because that was scary. Kind of thing. And then a player question, spirits in the spirit world, do they have perception of our world?
They can in a lot of ways. Really depends on their function. So
Okay.
if like for example, if they, are a TV or whatever, or a camera, yeah, they would be able to sense that sort of thing. But if they were just like a patterned spider, they're just doing their job.
Right. Well, what about like Moro and her pack?
Yeah, they've got ties to the material,
Okay.
especially through you.
Right. And reason being, My next effort is to contact the pack. It doesn't have to be Moro, but someone in the pack. Velvet, any of the others.
Yeah, that's a little bit more of a challenge, given your environment. The
Mhm.
paradigm here is very technological, and anybody in Maro's pack is definitely more spiritual. The gauntlet here inside the ship is definitely thicker. Um, so you can make an attempt to communicate,
Okay,
but the
before I
difficulty is
do
going to be
that,
higher.
what if I send out a query to the spirits that are on the ship, that are part of the ship, for someone who is idle at the moment, and requests a connection through the gauntlet?
I mean, you can certainly try.
Okay, I think I'm going to go that route, with the goal, if I successfully get the connection through the gauntlet, so basically just an assist through the thickness of the gauntlet in this area,
Yeah.
then send out that request to someone in the pack.
Okay. Yeah, you reach out and you do get a bit of response from some of the less busy spirits that are working in the communications array, and you make the offerings and connections
I've got
send
several 9 volts.
little bit of batteries here, mostly just transferring quintessence from the batteries to these little spiders. Not your favorite of the technological spirits, but they are what they are.
They can't help what they are.
And they kind of give you a bit of a nod and a wink, like,
Thank you. We will assist. We will try to find your friends through the gauntlet.
Okay.
and they do their thing. They go out and they send transmissions through the dimensional array that they have. While you're doing that, Rhenard, there is a strangeness happening in the corner with this person that you've just picked up, and it is bizarre. But you can feel the pull of primal metaphysical ether pulling, sending away, and she is communicating with the ship, but not interacting with the ship.
I think he's going to observe for now. See if he can pick up any insight into what's happening, what's going on.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to find your character sheet. Where did I put your character sheet? Got so many windows up. What's wrong with me? There we go. Yeah. Roll your perception and esoterica.
Got a couple points in that. 3 point in that. Perception. What
I'm gonna say difficulty
Difficulty?
6. Yeah, that's the standard difficulty.
Okay. Okay,
4
that's
successes.
yeah, 4. Sorry.
Yeah, you're able to kind of put together that there is a shamanistic practice going on here. She's going through some motions. She's saying what you can pick up, what you have studied to be more shaman technological mixing of things. It's not purely something that you've seen anybody in your cast group or your group of friends, but you've heard of shamans being able to speak to the spirits of machines.
Sure. Okay.
And while you're trying to figure that out, Lucia, you have some divine inspiration, and you are trying to draw out the circuitry that Seraph has blasted your mind with. I think for that, would be a perception plus expression. Oddly enough, I mean, it could also be art, but oh, actually, no. You know what? I take that back. I'm going to say this is going to be more about hypertech. So let's say perception plus hypertech to kind of suss out what you were given.
Okay. The one. Okay. Go.
All right, 2 successes. You, while not complete, you are definitely several steps ahead from the completed diagram. But you know this is going to be complex and it's going to take some time. But you sketch out kind of the initial vision. You kind of get the major points, and you kind of figure out where the right power source needs to be, the crystals, where the different threads and capacitors need to meet, and the sizing of it. You know you're going to have to get into some micro soldering, and you're not quite sure if you can do it, but you certainly feel that you can try. And once you kind of have that little schematic figured out, the Zeppelin shakes and lurches to the right, and you hear Seraph like kind of say, "Look," and turns your head, and you see an explosion. There's a building, not very tall, maybe about 10-15 stories tall, but it is exploded and caught on fire.
It just exploded?
There was an explosion. The whole building's there, but it is definitely on fire.
Huh.
It lights up the night.
If Mark or anyone is around, I'm gonna shake them and say, "Did you see that?"
Mark looks up from his phone and like, "Holy shit." And he runs to the window to get a better look.
How did a tidal wave do that?
I mean, I'm assuming I'm within earshot.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
It's bound to happen in the wake of such things, gas lines being broken, that sort of thing. There are all sorts of ways. One spark might set a whole building up in a situation like this.
Well,
Is it going to come down?
I mean, is the fire going to go down? I don't know.
It's the building.
Well, maybe, but
How
I guarantee you the fire department can't get there.
how thoroughly on fire are we talking here? Are we talking like the whole building is just engulfed in flame, or just there is fire on the building?
You see probably the top floor is on fire.
Oh, interesting. I wouldn't say that's a gas line or anything like that. I mean, it could be, but that seems odd.
Mark grabs one of the strange
That's what I was gonna
telephones
do.
along the wall and says, "Captain, we need to go towards that." And Captain's like, "What do you mean we need to go towards it? We need to get no, we need to go and help people. That's what we're supposed to do. So we're gonna help people. Go there now." And he hangs up the phone, and the airship writes its course. You guys approach the building, and you can see the fire itself is starting to travel to other parts of the building, starting to go down. Inea, you can see past the gauntlet, and you see that there is something else beyond the fire. You see that there's some sort of entity on the building as well.
Okay, so I'm gonna get up and go over to the window, so get a little closer as we approach it, and try and get a better idea of what. Like, I'm gonna try and reach because it's within my view, and I assume that it's catching my attention because it's my spirit sight
Yeah.
highlighting it.
You're getting this view of like dual realities, and you're seeing the fire almost have human shape as it moves and like grabs and eats and consumes. And as you're kind of studying this, you see a helicopter come by, and then the helicopter shimmers, and then all of a sudden it's a gray station wagon, and some weird gentleman pops out of the top of the roof of the car and throws what looks like a hula hoop towards the spirit fire. And that's where we're going to end it for night.
Okay, you are just gonna leave me hanging.
Yeah, of course
You're
I
a
am.
pain in the ass.
I am terrible. But it's almost 10 o'clock, so it's a good place to stop.
Oh, I started to wonder what absurd situation you could get us into on the Zeppelin and then leave us at.
You
It's
just
not
watch a
even on the
helicopter.
Zeppelin. It's outside the Zeppelin, 15 stories up.
Yes. But yeah, so that's it for tonight. But thank you all for being
Awesome.
here. I hope you guys had a good time.
Yeah, it was great.
And we'll find a time to pick this back up. And if you guys, I know sometimes you guys have Sundays available, and if Cindy, if you have Sundays available, this might
If I
dovetail.
have warning,
Yeah.
I can arrange to have Sunday available.
Yeah, I'm not immediately, not next Sunday or whatever, but this might be able to dovetail with some of the other players that are dealing with this on a Sunday.
Okay. Yep. Nope. That's cool. Yeah, I just need a couple days warning so I can do a little shuffling.
Yeah, and I'll
Yep.
try to coordinate here with Seán and Sarah.
Okay. Cool.
But I know that we're all going on vacation in a couple weeks, so who knows what this is going to be.
Yeah.
All right.
Very true.
Well, I'm going to animate out, and then we're going to have a quick post session with some notes, and
Okay.
we'll be done for the night. But
Okay.
for now, catch you next time.